For Shabbos, Parshas Shoftin. This week I'd like to share with you first a thought on parsha, and then a thought on the month of Elul, which, as you know, had just begun. The thought on the parsha has to do with the fact that I'm a Levi. And as I mentioned often, the Torah very often speaks highly about the Levim. When it comes to the actual mitzvahs that are related to Levim individually, there seems to be very little respect for what Levim have to do relative to the mitzvahs that apply to the Kohen. One of the mitzvahs that with which Levim are charged is the mitzvah of Shira, the mitzvah of singing in the Beis HaMikdash. B'shem reis, b'shem Hashem Elokav. The pasuk says in Parashat Ches, pasuk Zayim, right after Revi. It says the Levi will come, b'shem reis, and he will serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu, b'shem Hashem Elokav, with the name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And Chazal dashin from here, Ezo Shira Shahu b'shem, what service of HaKadosh Baruch Hu takes place using God's name, Habayim Ezu Shira. So Ezu Shira Shahu b'shem, Habayim is a Shira, that is the mitzvah of singing in the Beis HaMikdash. This mitzvah that the Levim have to sing at the carbon is even ma'akev in the carbon. As a matter of fact, that's learned from a pasuk in Parshas Ba'alaischa. In Parshas Ba'alaischa, it says that the Levim are given to the Kohen, and that the Levim nesunim la'aron u'levanav l'chaper al b'nei yisroel. Chazal darshan ma'kapara ma'akev, ma'pshira ma'akev. So there's a mitzvah to sing with the kabbanis, and that is a mitzvah which is ma'akev, which must take place. There's a dispute in the Gemara as to whether Ikar Shira the Peh or Ikar Shira the Kli. The main part of the singing in the Beis HaMikdash was the vocal singing or the use of instruments, and we paskin Ikar Shira the Peh. What is strange about this mitzvah is, once again, we have a Levi mitzvah, which seems, if I may say it this way, which seems to get little respect in the sense it's not expressed the Feirish in the Torah. The Torah doesn't say anywhere that there has to be singing in the Beis HaMikdash. As a matter of fact, you can learn all of Chumash and go through the whole Chumash and with Rashi and not even bump into the idea that the Levim have this mitzvah of singing in the Beis HaMikdash. Why is it this way? Why is it that this mitzvah is sort of a hidden mitzvah?
7:30.
Parshas Ba'alaischa addresses this briefly, and he says rather cryptically, Ikar Shira B'Peh, the main point of singing is with one's mouth, and therefore it is part of Torah Sheba'al Peh. It's not written, it's part of Torah Sheba'al Peh. Now, of course, that needs an explanation. It seems to be just a play on words of Peh and Peh. It's a Shira B'Peh, and it's part of Torah Sheba'al Peh, but still it needs an explanation. The Nekuda would seem to be that music, singing, is what you make of it. There's a certain power. One of the 7 chachmas, there are 7 sciences that the Torah recognizes as wisdom, and one of them is the chachma of music, of singing. There's a certain kayach hashira. It could be, to some people, singing is a fun thing, it's a sport. It's not much more than that. To other people, the singing is something that brings them closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. In the introduction to Pa'as HaShulchan, the author writes about his Rebbe, the Gra, and how the Vilna Gaon, when he made a seal on his learning of Shir HaShirim, and the Sefer on Shir HaShirim, he said that in the power of song, there was the Kayach Shal Tchiyas HaMesim, the power to be able to bring people back to life. Sometimes when I hear the wild music coming from cars at red lights, I wonder if somehow that's symbolic of a loud music of Tchiyas HaMesim. Of course, the Gra is not referring to that deep type of music, but the melodious music which brings a person's neshama closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And therefore, the idea of singing is not expressed in Torah Shebiksav. It has to come down in Torah Sheba'al Peh. You can't write a song. You have to hear a song Ba'al Peh. It's something that has to come to the person with the feeling, with the hergish that's attached to it. It's not just that a person can't write a song. Well, I guess musical notes you can, but it's the idea that the power of music is something you have to learn from a Rebbe. You have to learn from someone who has a connection to music. In the early days of Hasidus, there was a machlokes between Chabad and Breslov as to whether the ikar power of song involves the melody itself or the words that are attached to the melody. Different people apparently have a different nature. It seems to me that the words that are connected are most meaningful to me. And that is to say that a person can be singing and enjoying it, and it could be meaningless. Or a person could be singing and being mekayim a mitzvah d'oraisa. There's a mitzvah d'oraisa of davening, la'avdei b'chol levavchem, to speak to HaKadosh Baruch Hu with your heart. Now, of course, we have a nusach of davening, but the mitzvah d'oraisa doesn't involve a specific nusach. If you're singing words and thinking of their meaning, then you're mekayim the mitzvah la'avdei b'chol levavchem. The singing is something that's elevated. And so, b'shem is b'shem Hashem Elokav. The mitzvah of the singing of the Levim is not expressed clearly, overtly, not because it's not chashuv, not because it's not to be respected, but on the contrary, because it's so respected, because it's so important. The avodah of shira is what you make of it. It's what you make of it. You can't just learn the words. You have to understand that shira is something that can bring a person closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's a thought on the parsha. Now let's move to a thought regarding the month of Elul. It's interesting that the idea that the word Elul, Aleph Lamed, Vav Lamed, stands for Ani L'Daidi, V'Daidi Li, a pasuk in the 6th parak of Shir HaShirim. I am to my beloved, and my beloved is to me. The idea that the word Elul was connected to that originates in the Abu Draham, and it's brought in virtually every one of the poskim in the later generations. It's something very well known. Elul is a time to draw close to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. However, so is here, because Taisvis, in the first parak of Rosh Hashanah, quotes the Yerushalmi, who says that the names of the months that we have, Tishrei, Cheshvan, Kislev, Teves, etc., are not Jewish names at all. Shemais HaChadashim Aluim Ohem Bavel. That these are Babylonian names. These are not Jewish names. Maybe Aramaic names. You don't find in the Chumash or Navi any of these names called Chaydesh Harishon, Chaydesh Hasheni. There's an expression of Chaydesh Ziv, it's a totally different name. These names appear only in Megillah Esther as well as in the Navi Zechariah. It appears only later when the Jews return from Babel. And Tosfos says they're not Jewish names at all. And therefore it seems very strange that the word Elul stands for Ani L'Daidi V'Daidi Li. That's not a Jewish name. We would understand this better if we knew about Shir HaShirim. Shir HaShirim, to most people's mind, is a song of love between a young couple about to be married. Not so. It's certainly not so about the 6th parak of Shir HaShirim. There, we're talking about a couple that became estranged and are drawing together again. All of Shir HaShirim is really about the love of a couple that had a dispute, that became distant from each other, and are now drawing closer. Parak Vav Pasuk Gimel says, Ana halach beidech hayafa b'nashim. Where has your beloved gone, beautiful among the women? Ana fana beidech v'nevakshenu imach. Let's go search for your husband. And Rashi says, what does this refer to? Kishachaza behishra ruchai al kairesh the nasan rishus livnei sabayis. It refers to a time that HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, you may build the second base of Mikdash. The Schilu Livnei, and they began to build. Where is God? Is he coming back? Are Klal Yisrael and the Rebbeinu Shalom going to make peace one with the other? And so, Ani L'Daidi V'Daidi Li is talking specifically about the time of Binyan Bayesheni. It's talking about a time that a person feels distant from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and then is able to come close to HaKadosh Baruch Hu again. And therefore it's not a kasha that it's the Babylonian name which came back in the Bayesheni. Because indeed, the name Elul is a name for coming back after the Churban and after the Galus and trying to return to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's true for Klal Yisrael, it's true for every individual. Every individual who feels distant from HaKadosh Baruch Hu has the opportunity to draw close to HaKadosh Baruch Hu again. It's a little painful that many people look at Shir HaShirim as psukim which seem to be repetitious, which say the same thing over and over again, and they really don't appreciate the great depth and beauty of Shir HaShirim. I would advise you to learn the first psukim in Perek Hay. Tears can come to your eyes. It's talking about a couple that's been estranged, and now the husband is coming and knocking on the door. He wants to draw close. Basi legami achaisi kala. My beloved, I'm coming, I'm returning. Ani yishein of a libi air. And the woman says, I'm tired, even though my heart is awake. Kol doidi daifek. And my beloved is knocking on the door. He's saying, Tischi bi achaisi rayasi, yainasi samasi. Please open the door for me, my beloved, many names of love. And the woman inside says, Pashanti eskutanti, echocha el b'shema. I'm already dressed to go to sleep. I've taken off my clothing. Too tired to put them back on again. Rachasti es raglai, echocha atan feim. I've washed my feet. I don't want to put them on the floor and get them dirty again. Doidi sholach yodai min hachayr. And the beloved, the woman says, I hear the husband who was knocking has stopped. And suddenly, I think, is he running away? And then she jumps up to open the door for her beloved. And my hands dripping with some perfume. Now we're ready to open the door. I opened the door for my beloved. And he left. When he knocked, she was too tired. She was in bed. And now, when the door is open, he's not there. Nafshi yotza. My soul feels like leaving me. B'dabroi. B'kashtiu. I look to him. V'loi mitzosiu. Kolosid, I call to him. V'loi anani. He doesn't answer me. This idea that HaKadosh Baruch Hu knocks and we have opportunities. And when we lose them, our soul mourns. We mourn where we are. Their opportunities. That's what Anilu Daidi V'Daidi is all about. If you don't say the whole Shir HaShirim on Friday, and I think most people are too busy to do it, at least learn the first 6 psukim of the 5th parak. Learn them and take them to heart. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is knocking. There are opportunities come your way. The summer is closing to an end, so we all have opportunities around us. Opportunities to draw close to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. With the Torah, you have to connect to the Torah more and take more opportunities. I personally can offer you 3 new opportunities in the coming week. First of all, the Mishmar is beginning again this coming Thursday night. It's beautiful that over the summer, when the Mishmar was, so to speak, officially not in session, there were at least 30 people every Thursday night that I was here, sitting and learning till 11:30 or 11:45 at night. It was beautiful. And now, Be'ezus Hashem, we're going to start again next week. We're looking to fill up the Beis Medrash. We need you. How beautiful it would be to have a Beis Medrash full of people learning. Please join us in Yitzhak Hashem. There's a Ma'ariv at 10. There's a Ma'ariv at 11:45. In between, from 10:15 to 11:30 or a part thereof, join us for the learning. Be part of it. From 11:30 to 11:45, I give a 15-minute share. Whether you stay for my share or not is not the point. Be part of the Mishmar. There will be 3 Mishmar nights over Elul. 3 times you got to pick yourself up. Pick yourself up. Don't say, Rachasti es raglai echocha atan feim. Don't say, I'm in bed already. How can I get up? Get to the door. Get there while HaKadosh Baruch Hu is knocking. The second opportunity presents itself on Sunday mornings. If you don't already have a Seder, after the 8 o'clock Shachris, from about 10 to 9 till 10 to 10, I learn your Yeridea. We learn your Yeridea inside for an hour every Sunday morning. It's a long-running shir, well over 20 years. We're now learning Hilchos Tzedakah inside. If you own a Yeridea and haven't used it,